This is Tim, and I want to talk about, UFC's and MMA's type of pressure testing. Number one, I disagree with the MMA's definition or version of pressure testing. It's not what a typical traditional martial artist would call pressure testing, to be honest with you, because it's not what you call pressure testing, it's what you call body bashing and brain destroying. Now, I say this because some people might talk about the fact that, if you wear helmets and you do full contact sports or whatever, you wear helmets and gloves, you're going to protect your brain or whatever. That's not true, because studies have shown that even with gloves and helmets, people receive a lot of brain damage from doing like full contact sports, like boxing or football or basketball or soccer or whatever, MMA, all that sort of, BS that some people are talking about these days. And, you could verify any of this. You could find any studies online that tell you that, full contact sports, even with helmets or gloves, are going to destroy your brain, because, and the article, and I was reading this article the other day, it was pretty interesting. It was talking about how people, when they wear helmets and gloves, the thinking works like this. I have gloves on, you have a helmet on, I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. Now, when people do that sort of thing to each other, right, the impact doesn't get stopped as much as people think. It still penetrates through the skull and hits the brain, which causes people extreme brain damage. So I would think that most people would realize the fact that it would be completely idiotic to go into MMA type sports or any full contact sport whatsoever, boxing, whatever you might think you're interested in, because of the fact that you're going to receive a lot of brain damage if you go into these types of sports. Which, by the way, how long is that going to last for? You might say, doing full contact or pressure testing, that gives you experience, but how long does that experience last for? For example, when you have your brains bashed in, that experience is out the window, because you're not going to have the reflexes anymore. You're not going to have the thought process to actually use that so-called experience. That experience is out the window because a lot of the brain that's required to actually use this experience might be damaged, and it probably will be damaged. Now, from a martial artist like myself, because I've been doing martial arts for a long time, I just want to give people a heads up on this so-called MMA pressure testing, which I like to call body bashing and brain destroying. Before you get into MMA, think about this. It has been proven scientifically to give people brain damage, and if that's what you want, go ahead and go into MMA. But if you want to preserve your brain, as like us traditional martial artists, like we have, then get into a traditional martial arts, most definitely. Get into a bunch of, I wouldn't say a bunch, but get into some form of traditional martial arts and preserve your brain and your body.